Good afternoon and welcome again to this live broadcast, Younib TV News at 1. My name is Peninah Wachera, and as usual, we have a lot lined up for you, including what unfolded in the corridors of justice yesterday, with a key one being the identification of the officer who opened fire at a mask vendor during CBD protest. First things first, our top stories. Welcome. President William Ruto has reiterated the government's strategy to ensure that no region or community is left behind in the endeavor to transform Kenya. At the State House in Nairobi, President William Ruto hosted 18 Kisumu County political leaders led by Governor Anyang' Nyong'o. Earlier, Ruto had promised development projects worth 3 billion Kenya shillings during a meeting with Siaya County politicians led by Governor James Orengo.
We are doing a ferry. We're starting today, and shortly it will be available for lake transport. We are going to spend 800 million, about 750 to 800 million shillings on this ferry. We are starting today to join Kisumu with Siaya, Usenge, and those other areas.
In order for us to have enough production in the next 2 years, for those industries that we are putting up to actually make sense. If we leave production only to the middle class and the rich, we will keep our people in poverty. So we want to aid them to also be part of the production.
The local mama in the village can now go to get birth certificate, and the turnaround time is 20 minutes. You go to register, within 20 minutes, you leave with your birth certificate. Identity cards, within 1 week, at most 9 days, you come out with the identity card. This is one of the things that we are celebrating you for.
We have allocated 3 billion shillings to not just manage, but to begin the process of transforming that facility to a truly level 6 facility. And there are other interventions that we are going to carry out in that facility because it occupies a significant place in making sure that we support health provision at that level.
After goons ransacked their stores during Tuesday's protest, Nairobi traders are reporting losses in the millions. CCTV footage shows that the attacks and several alleged they were singled out after being threatened. Even rogue police officers are suspected of participating in the looting. Owners of businesses now worry about their safety and want the officers involved as well as those responsible to be arrested.
Tulienda moski, watu waliingia. Sema nilimaliza kusali, niliangalia TV hapo kwa mbele yangu. Niliona shop yangu zote imeenda, mizigo zote imeenda. Mmoja alikuja like sijui sikumbuki saa hii before 10 days aliniambia kama hujaniuzia leo nitaingoja time ya maandamano. Nimeona polisi pia umepepa. Nimemwambia hii mali ni yangu. Alimwambia mali hii yameshatoka kwako, saa hii sio yako. Nimemwambia sasa badala ya kusaidia nyinyi pia umeanza umeingilia.
The goons took advantage of that because there were some guys here who tried to help, but unfortunately, karau kupata wanasaidia wanawa discuss. So the other guys took advantage of that moment, wakaingia, wakachukua vitu zote. Nani atatucompensate? Mtu kama mimi nitaanzia wapi? My neighbor here, tutaanzia wapi? Because they took everything.
According to confirmation from Kenyatta National Hospital, mask vendor Boniface Mwangi Karaoke, who was wounded at close range during Tuesday's protest, is still in the intensive care unit. He is one of the 16 people hospitalized for protest-related injuries. His family is still dealing with this incident while they wait for updates on Karaoke's condition.
Pigiwa simu kitu saa 2, nikaambiwa kijana yangu amepigwa risasi. Mbeleni tulikuwa tunaona ingine. Sasa nikasikia tena ni yangu. Sasa nikaangalia na nikaona ni yeye.
Na mtoto mwingine kijana ni wao tu, ni huyo tu. Sasa sina mengi. Ni yeye ananisaidia kwa nini? Kwani kuniletea nini? Mambo ya chakula.
So this morning 6 had undergone surgery. Sorry, 2 had undergone surgery and 4 more were on the theater list waiting to go to theater this morning.
A raw government, a quasi-liberal government that is subjectively committed to injure the rights of Kenyans. Yes. The law is a bilateral law and it cannot work on a one face.
Kenyans should come out in their numbers to make sure that we fight back, we liberate our country, and we consign these criminals where they belong.
Askari naye tungewaambia at least wakuwe binadamu. Juu anaweza enda kufanya hivyo wakuwa amepata hata ndugu.
Constable Clinzy Baraza Masinde has been named by the National Police Service as the police who opened fire on an unarmed mask vendor during demonstration against Albert Ojwang's passing. He is being kept at the Capitol Hill Police Station before his court hearing on Thursday after being arrested and placed under interdiction. However, according to his attorneys, it's a case of mistaken identity.
That rubber bullet shot was not from our client. And I will invite you to consider the angle. Whereas there were 2 police persons allegedly following this person, the question that begs our attention is where that rubber bullet emanated from. We've had interaction from our client and he's saying he's not the one who discharged that rubber bullet and we don't know who.
And we have reasons to assume that the police led by the DCI and the IPOA depended on an AI-generated image to arrest our client, but that is an issue that we will have our field day in court.
And what raises eyebrows is the manner in which the homicide division of the DCI came into the matter. The homicide division unit can only come when the person is deceased or when we have lost someone, but we have not lost anyone, and yet we have the homicide unit coming to investigate.
We're going for a short break and we'll be back with more news updates. Don't go anywhere.
Ever the best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. In response to growing criticism after blogger Albert Ojwang's death, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has been called to testify before the National Assembly. Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly, gave the order on Wednesday, June 18th, amid a heated parliamentary debate about police behavior. Murkomen faced criticism in the House on Wednesday, with Raredia MP Otende Omolo explicitly citing the previous week's event as evidence that the police force needs drastic changes.
What was asked was what specific online post led to his arrest. Mr. Speaker, up to this point, we do not know. Was Albert's detention documented at the Central Police Station? Mr. Speaker, the response clearly should have stated that it was not. I am not fully satisfied, and this is the message.
The statement is quite insufficient. Honourable Speaker, from afar look, this looks like there's a lot of conspiracy around that case. And Honourable Speaker, I am appealing to the committee to go beyond IPOA statement.
We saw in the streets yesterday, somebody brazenly shooting at a human being, Mr. Speaker. It means that it has not sunk.
There is a need, Honourable Speaker, for this National Assembly to go beyond the issue of getting a report from IPOA and actually form a commission of inquiry.
Because Ojwang's death demonstrates what happens every day, except it does not come to the limelight. I would suggest that, Mr. Speaker, you consider constituting an ad hoc committee to look into what actually happened and also to look into what happens to other persons in similar circumstances so that the police can be brought to order.
Only 2 days ago, Mr. Nditi died in a police post in my constituency, allegedly by suicide. Mr. Speaker, again in, I think, Nyando or somewhere, somebody else died allegedly by suicide.
On other news, the Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya presided over the groundbreaking ceremony for a new ferry at Kenya Shipyards Limited in Kisumu. This move is a component of Kenya's broader initiative to enhance Lake Victoria's water transportation and boost employment via domestic shipbuilding. The managing director of KSL organized a ceremony to formally acknowledge the commencement of the ferry's construction.
The ceremony symbolizes far more than the beginning.
Preside over this very significant and remarkable milestone in our country's ambition to grow into a leading hub for shipbuilding on the African continent. Today's keel-laying exercise for the construction of a 29-meter ferry is testament that indeed we are on course towards the attainment of this ambition. It is a symbol of Kenya's commitment to industrial growth, regional connectivity, and maritime excellence.
On to matters sports, the Kenya Harambee Starlets team is having a great campaign after defending Burundi and Uganda on the ongoing CECAFA Senior Women's Championship in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. On Thursday at 4 p.m. Kenya Harambee Starlets will play South Sudan in the third match of the ongoing Senior Women's Championship at the Azam Sports Complex in Tanzania. They will be guaranteed a spot in the finals if they defeat South Sudan. Tanzania and Kenya maintain their unbeaten runs.
Kwa game poa, but pia si team rahisi, zimekuwa team tough, but tume give all, preparation ilikuwa poa, vile tulifunzwa ndio tulileta kwa game, ndio ikakuwa rahisi, tukakuwa washindi. Feeling yangu ilikuwa poa, ni motivation kwangu, jipush, inanipea motivation ya kujipush, work hard pia.
Tumekuja by the way, na feel, nikuwe top scorer. Hii game ya Burundi, nijiamini, lazima nifunge bao kadhaa, na ikakuwa hivyo. Na hii pia ya Uganda, ilikuwa pia ni lazima, ning'ang'ane na
All right, that brings us to the end of our live broadcast. And as always, we'll continue to monitor the progress of the competition and other news making the headlines as they unfold. Thank you for trusting us to be your source of verified, reliable, and impactful news. I'm Peninah Wachera, and this has been the 1 p.m. Bulletin, Younib TV News at 1. Have a great afternoon.